Hi and welcome along to AFTV. Big game today. We're here early, man. I'll tell you, it's early. Early, man. 12 o'clock kickoff, right? I don't think anybody was out partying last night because we have to wake up so early for the game today. The guys are at the game. Cecil and James are down there at the game. Me and Turkish are in the building and really looking forward to a massive game today for Arsenal, taking on Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. Joining me to see what the starting 11 is going to be, we got a debut here from Dylan. Nice to have you, mate.
Thank you.
We got Dexter in the building again. Great to have you back, Dexter. And of course, Mr. Controversy himself. We've already been arguing all morning. Guna Lee is in the building. Big up to Guna Lee. Don't forget, this video is brought to you by NordVPN. That's powering the match day experience today, powering both this and the watch along. Secure your online activity with next generation encryption. Protect your data with Nord's no log policy. You can also use NordVPN on up to 6 devices, and I'm going to be using it when we go out to Qatar for the World Cup 100% to protect my data. Be invincible by scanning the QR code to get the AFTV special, which is just for our fans only. So make sure you check it out. It's a really great tool to have. And as I said, when I'm over in Qatar, protecting my phone with a NordVPN, trust me. But listen, guys, big game today, man. Big game today, especially after Man City yesterday scoring that last gasp
scraping
penalty and getting past Fulham. They're now top of the league by 1 point. But if we win today, we go back to the top. It's a place where we went to last year. Remember that game, 4-2? I remember going into that game, expectations were very low. You know what I mean? We'd come off the back of those 3 defeats after the international break, and then we went there, and it was kind of a surprise that we won that game. We won it by 4-2. The season before, we beat Chelsea there. So it's been one of the few sort of, you know, we talk about going to the big games away. It's been one of those sort of places that we've been to recently, then we've actually done all right. So the starting 11 is going to be very important today. But first of all, I just want to get you guys, get your vibes, see how you're feeling. Dylan, how are you feeling, man, about this game?
No, I'm very confident. Very confident as long as we get the lineup right. Obviously, there's not going to be any Tomiyasu in left back this week, which is not a problem. But I feel like we're a lot better with Kieran Tierney in left back or Zinchenko in left back because that's their natural position. They're left-footed. And they both offer a lot more attacking-wise. So as long as they're playing, I really do fancy our chances. Obviously, they will be because there's no Tomiyasu. So I think that'll be massive for us, attacking-wise at least, because we need to take the game to them because we're not going to win this game by sitting off. That's for sure. Okay.
What about you, Dex? How are you feeling, man?
I think this game is going to tell us a lot. I mean, a lot of us are kind of still a bit scared to say that we're in a title challenge, but we're seeing with City winning last minute that this is what it's like, innit? And we're in now uncharted waters for this team. So we have to kind of get used to this pressure. And, you know, if we do eventually go on to really challenge for the league, we have to expect to get results in these games, especially where City have just gone top. We have to expect to get results in these games. So it's going to say a lot about us. It's going to say a lot about, you know, what journey we're going on. Is this a challenging for top 4 or challenging for the league? And if we are challenging for the league, then this is a game that we have to go big, huge game away from home. We've proved, you know, against the other Big 6 teams that we can beat them at home, but away from home is still a little bit of a problem, like in the United game. So we're going to see what kind of mentality this team is coming with today.
Pressure's on.
Yeah, listen, I think everyone needs to remember, like, we are a good team. We were top of the league until yesterday. And one thing that I think people need to remember is none of the Big 6 teams have actually beat any of the other Big 6 teams away from home this season. They've all been home wins for the teams that have been at home. So, look, it's going to be a tough game. People always put at us that we can't play early fixtures, we can't play in the rain, we can't do this. So
we've dispelled all them myths.
But what I'm saying is that people always move the goalpost for Arsenal. So now we just need to go out there and show what we can do. Obviously, currently, you know what? I'll be honest with you. I'll probably, if you hand me a draw right now, I'll take it. But I do want to go and try and get the win. But I would take a draw and move on to the next game. You know, I think it's better to not lose a game than to go. But and I don't want to seem, I don't want to seem defeat. I don't want to seem defeatist already.
That's what we were arguing about before. Here he goes again.
Defeatist, but
you know what I mean?
Listen, I don't want to seem, but I do think that you have to remember, as I said, none of the top 6 teams, none of them have beat other top 6 teams away from home. So it's hard. And
I get what you're saying, right? And I get what you're saying about you take a draw. You know what I mean? If this game ends up a draw, I think a lot of us in there will probably say, okay, fair enough, difficult place to go. But actually, you know what? How I'm feeling right now, I want to win.
I'd be disappointed if we
I'd be disappointed with the draw.
Considering the form
this right as the game starts, because I'm looking at it, I'm like, the last 2 times we've gone there, we've beaten them, right? We are playing good football this year, right? And I feel that if the best Chelsea turns up today and the best Arsenal turns up today, and this is based off of this season, we win the game.
100%, yeah.
So what I want to see is the best Arsenal turn up. You know what I mean? Because I feel if we turn up today for the 90 minutes, we win the game. Now we've got to put the pressure on them, isn't it, Dylan? Now,
100%.
I think one of the games that I look at and I think is kind of a bit of the blueprint, even though the team didn't win the game, it was a draw in the end, but looks like a bit of a blueprint. Well, two games which looks like a bit of a blueprint for how to beat Chelsea. No, actually, I'm going to give you 3 games. Right, 2 of them were away games. Only one was at Stamford Bridge. Right, one of them was Leeds earlier on in the season. Leeds were on them like a rash, and just blew them away. The Brighton game last week, where again Brighton were just on them. You know, they were pumped up, the whole Potter thing and all that, and they were on them from the beginning. And also when Man United went to Stamford Bridge again, Man United were on the front foot. Took the game to them. Very unlucky to only get a point out of that game. We've got to take it to them, haven't we?
Well, we're top of the league for a reason. Well, we're not top of the league right now, are we? Because obviously City have overtaken us. But all season we've been top of the league, and there's a reason for that. But obviously we didn't manage to beat Man United away. But we need to actually go to Chelsea today, and like you said, we have to take it to them because that's the only way we're going to beat them. Because if we set off, it's not going to work. It's not like Leeds. Sorry, when we played Leeds, and we were 1-0 up and we could camp. Because they're like not the best team. With Chelsea, we're going to get punished if we do that. And the last thing we want to do today is let Aubameyang score a goal against us because that'll really get them going for sure. So as long as we keep it tight and we do attack them when we can, because that's what we did last season. We came there off of 3 losses on the bounce, and we sat back to start off with, and then as soon as we got the chance, Eddie and Nketiah, one mistake, and we were brave and we took it. And then obviously last season we kept getting set back, but in the end, the bravery shone through. And like I said, there's a reason we're top of the league, so we just need to go to them and just give it our all.
Mark T here with a super chat. He says, I believe in order for us to win today, we just need to support our team for the whole 90 minutes. Forget about the Aubameyang reception and just do our job. 3-1. 3-1 he's going to Arsenal. We're going to do this, right? Aubameyang, guys, you know what I mean, right? I saw the video during the week. What he did for BT, that wound up a load of Arsenal fans. He's going to be pumped today to do well. You know what I mean? The whole thing between him and Arteta. He's going to want to show Arteta that, you made a mistake in letting me go. We got to keep him quiet, haven't we?
Yeah, I'm really not nervous about Aubameyang, to be honest with you. I mean, was it like the last 18 months that he was playing for us? I saw enough of what he can't do to not be worried. And, obviously he went and did very well at Barcelona. But we've seen that Aubameyang's the type of player that if you nullify him out of the game, he doesn't bring anything to the table. He's not like a Jesus or, even like a Harry Kane, somebody that comes and searching for the ball and tries to get involved in the play. And I think, Saliba and Gabriel probably have him in their pocket. That's what I think. I don't really think, that he offers a lot. Obviously, he's still dangerous on the counter. He is still a quick player, but.
And he's a goal scorer, isn't he?
He's a goal scorer.
These are his famous last words, man.
I'm saying it now.
Make sure at the bottom you need to put a little running scream saying these are the words of Dexter, man.
Clip it up, man.
Don't worry about him.
You know what it is? One thing I always remember about Aubameyang, when it was at home against the big teams, the man turned up. You have to remember that when he played for us and he played for Barcelona, when it was the big games, he turned up. You think about all the goals he scored against Spurs at home. All the goals he scored against Man United at home. He scored against Chelsea at home. He knows how to get the team pumped to play well against big opposition. And he's a big game player. No matter what you want to say,
he is.
He's a big game player and he's a sharp shooter. And again, it's not to put anyone out, but we know sometimes Gabriel can make a couple of mistakes. He's a top quality defender. He just needs to be on it, ready for the battle, so that there's no mistakes kind of letting Aubameyang in, because we know that Aubameyang can pounce on that.
He doesn't really play strictly down the middle anyway, does he? It might be more a Ben White thing.
But we've also seen him get snuffed out. We've seen him miss sitters as well.
Listen, I think that he should be nullified by our defenders and our midfield as well, because they're part of that defensive unit. But I do think that it's just a thing where it's that old school thing with me. I always remember Aubameyang, he turned up for the big games at home, and he's at home for his new team. He wants to show out, man. He's going to want to show out. So it's up to us to kind of negate that.
What sort of reception do you think he's going to get?
Do you know what? I would have said
if you were there, what reception would you give him?
Before the video came out, I probably would have said I woun't even. But I didn't hate Aubameyang before this week. I think him doing what he did, I think you kind of you crush your ties with Arsenal, because you didn't have to do that. You didn't have to say that. You could have just said, you know what? To be fair, you could have said, look, like, this is a big game.
Don't do it at all.
Don't do it at all. But if you do it, fine. You could have just said something like, it's a big game. Just move on. You don't have to say, but mention Arsenal and trying to rile up the fans.
I've not really seen any player do that.
It's unnecessary.
I just felt it was so unnecessary. And I'm a person, I like Aubameyang.
Yeah.
Have you seen the video of like the behind the scenes where they're telling them
where they tell them what to say? Have you seen that one?
They're telling
Well, I haven't seen that.
It's awkward for him. He doesn't want to do it. He doesn't want to do it. He didn't want to do it.
He didn't want to do it, but you still did. To me, don't do it then.
I don't even
say,
think it's
sorry,
that
we're not doing this.
Yeah.
Because to me, I just don't. You're adding. For starters, if I was a Chelsea fan, I'd be annoyed if he did that as well, for him doing that as well, because now you've given Arteta. We've seen Arteta in the All or Nothing documentaries. How quick he is to get a little video up on the screen and say, remind everyone and say, yo, look, this is what the man said, right? So I'm sure he'll be doing that. The way I know they stitched him up, because the way they edit it in with all the bits with Arteta and that, it's a stitch up. But come on, you're an experienced player. You should have just said no.
You got to think, the man's got a tattoo of Arsenal on his arm. Like, I know there's certain things that you got to do to kind of publicise and make the game bigger than what it maybe seems to be, but you're an Arsenal boy. You can see that he loves Arsenal.
Well, we had we did the superfan debate.
Yeah.
We had like Rory and Jennings on, and Rory's saying that he's an Arsenal guy. Yeah. He's an Arsenal guy who plays for us now. All we're interested in him doing is scoring goals.
Yeah. I think I'd be more worried if he was firing in goals every week. He's not. Do you know what I'm saying? And we've seen him go for lengthy spells without scoring anyway. So to be honest, I don't really think that it's that.
But he will be pumped for this.
Yeah. He will be pumped for it. I also think that I'd probably be a little bit more upset with it if we were playing at home today. Do you know what I'm saying? But he's in front of his fans. Like, they're not gonna let us.
He's gonna get a lot of stick from the away fans. I can tell you.
He's gonna get stick from the away fans.
Judges, Cecil, James,
you know what to do.
You know what to do, man. You know what to do, man.
He'll get booed.
Even if those three kept silent, like he's gonna be getting. I've been to many away games at Chelsea. Yeah. Players get stick for doing nothing, let alone what he's done.
They'll let you in the stadium.
What Stamford Bridge?
Yeah, they'll let you in.
Sometimes.
Hey, listen. You know, they don't like to let people on the trains and all that. Yeah, I know, man. I'm surprised they let you in.
I'd be more worried. I'm more worried for Sterling.
Yeah. Well, we're going to come to Sterling in a second. Let's come to him in a second. Danny Campbell says Aubameyang will be exposed. Saliba will have him in his pocket physically.
I hear that though.
Will Aubameyang even start? Says Lindell. I'll be very surprised if he doesn't start. Let's move on to him. Sterling. That's another player who always seems to score against us. In his Man City days anyway. Yeah. He always scored against us. He's a dangerous player. He's been going through a bit of a poor patch, but I note that he, we're watching the game during the week, scored. Yeah. So back on the score sheet.
He's a dangerous, I've seen him score headers against us.
Yeah, remember that?
Towering over people that he shouldn't.
Put a little asterisk, that was Rob Holding. But that's not a proper defender.
But still, to say that it doesn't matter, he just always seems to score against us.
And you've got players, that, they always score. You've got teams that they always, Harry Kane always scores against Arsenal.
Yeah.
Are we giving them far too much respect though? It's a 33-year-old Aubameyang who was not that good for us for nearly 2 years. And we've got Raheem Sterling, who's been let off by Man City who are competing with us at the top now, and he's been let off by them because what? Like, they must have something better than him. So I feel like we're just giving them maybe a bit too much respect. But what
He's
you say
still
is
a
true.
top player on his day, though.
On his day, yeah. On his day, definitely.
Is, yeah.
On his day, definitely. But like this team he's coming up against today, like we're playing ourselves down a bit here. I feel like we are top of the league. Well, not now, but you know what I mean. We've been top of the league all season.
We get used to saying it.
Yeah, no.
That's why we got to go back to the top.
That's why we got to win today. Yeah, but no. Yeah, we've been there for a reason, and we can't play ourselves down because Saliba's been a great defender this season. Our fullbacks have been great this season. Ben White and right back especially has been top. So yeah, we shouldn't be too worried, to be honest.
You worried about Sterling?
Do you know what? You know the reason why I'd probably say I'm a little bit more calmer about the Sterling thing, because I think, you know what, Ben White's been amazing, and I always go back to it. We did the watch along, how solid Ben White was against Zaha. And Zaha, well, I think Ben White was on a yellow card in that game, and he still marshalled him out in the second half. For me, I think the tandem of Saliba and Ben White to kind of hold them off, it's going to be good. And obviously, we always know Saka comes back and is that third kind of the starting defender for us. So I think for me, I'm feeling a little bit more calmer about Sterling scoring against us than the likes of Aubameyang. I'm more worried about Aubameyang scoring, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, listen, guys, we're about 30 minutes away from finding out what the lineup's going to be today, and it's going to be very, very important on both sides. I'm intrigued to see who Chelsea are going to go with as well. As I said before at the start of the show, don't forget the NordVPN as well. You can scan the QR codes, get your data safe by using NordVPN. We've got a special deal for everybody who's watching this video today. So click the link in the description if you want to get a NordVPN. Let's talk about our players, right? Now, for me, I feel what I'm going to be intrigued to see is our front three, which I think they have been brilliant this season in the way in which they just attack defences. Martinelli on one side, running, driving at players. He's always done well at Stamford Bridge. Saka, who's been really on form on the other side, and Jesus, who's been brilliant without scoring, but in recent games, but he's been brilliant. I mean, those front three, if we've got them firing, they can cause some problems, isn't it, Dexter?
Absolutely, they can. I mean, like we've seen, even statistically, the three of them, their dribbling stats are through the roof this year. So they've been incredible. I am not going to lie, I'm starting to get a bit worried about Jesus' lack of goals, even though I'm very happy with what he's bringing to the table in his all-round game. And, obviously I've seen comments where people are kind of comparing that to what Laka did, but he offers way more than what Laka offers. However, he is our number 9. He is our big game player, and these are the games away from home that I'm expecting not just assists, I'm expecting goals. Do you know what I'm saying? So today,
if he assists the winner, who cares?
If he assists the winner, then great. But honestly, I'm really expecting to see a goal from him today. And obviously he does a lot to contribute to the team, but I think it's about time that he just gets back on that kind of goal scoring front. I'm not going to jump on his back. He's been incredible for us, but I think it's important that in a game like this, away from home, that we see a goal. Yeah,
it's important that he starts getting himself back on the score sheet, because a couple of the chances that he's missed recently are chances that he should have put away, isn't it? And if a chance like that comes today, he's got to take it, isn't it? Because these games, they're tight games, the margins are tight, and we know that if you don't, get an advantage against a team like Chelsea with the quality that they have right around the pitch, you can be punished.
No, the thing is though, he's been great in the last few games. Obviously, he's been offering enough to the team assist-wise and linking up play. Even if he's getting pre-assists or he's just creating energy up front, he's leading the press. Any of that stuff, that's fine. But he has been getting chances. Let's not act like he hasn't been getting enough chances to score goals. There's one thing, he's not getting the chances because he's doing this, but he's doing this and he's getting the chances to score goals, which in the last few weeks, we've been winning 1-0 against Leeds, 1-0 against Bodo, we won 1-0 against PSV. We haven't been scoring enough goals basically until last week, of course, when we played against Nottingham Forest. But he needs to start scoring. He definitely needs to start scoring more often, because we rely on him, and the problem is, another thing is, we don't have a plan B off the bench. It's not like when we had Giroud and you could bring on someone to whip crosses into or headers.
Ian Nketiah, man, he scored 2 there last year.
When you say it's the same, when you say it's the same thing, if you bring on Nketiah, so it's a small player with energy that's technical. It's the same. It's a like for like, just with more energy coming on later. So we need him to be scoring goals for sure because he's our main man up front.
What about you? You worried about Jesus at the moment? Some of the chances he's been missing.
It's a funny one. If you can probably put it into two parts. If we are going to be going for the title properly, I think there is a worry because you don't just think about. Well, there's a couple of parts. The first part is I think he's a fantastic player, but he's actually missed some real easy opportunities. And it's not to do with great saves, it's to do with poor finishing. Yeah. And that's the main thing. It's not just the fact that he's missing some sort of long shots or something like that. He's missing, you see the point blank save he had last week. I can go back to the Crystal Palace first game. He wiggled past all those players and he just didn't get it in the back of the net. I think of the game of Southampton. Odegaard teed him up, nice kind of flick up in the air, and he hits it straight at the keeper. And they're just like P-rollers.
What is it? A lack of composure?
Do you know what it is? Sometimes
is he trying too hard?
You know what? I think that's the main thing you saw last week, and I think Judges said it so perfectly. He's trying too hard. He needs to get that goal. Once he gets his goal, I think it will come a lot more smoother. But he's really like thumping to get that goal, and it's a lot for him at this moment.
Do you think that he lacks that that killer instinct of a natural nine?
I totally disagree. I don't think he misses. He's not. He's got a killer instinct. He has got it. We've seen that he's got a killer instinct. I just think what it is when he goes 1, 2, 3, 4 games without it, he's been speaking about it himself. So he knows it's playing on his mind. And you got to think, when he came to Arsenal, there was one thing that everyone needs to remember. He said he's coming to be the number 9 and he's coming to score goals. That's what he said. So when he's not doing that, I think it weighs heavy on him. People going on, he's a glorified Lacazette, all of these other things is crazy. What the guy has brought to us is it's untold.
Absolutely,
the other things that he's brought.
It's completely changed.
But what it is I think the main thing I'm a little bit maybe concerned is he's actually missing some quite easy chances. As I said, the chances that he's missed against Southampton, the chances he's missed against Nottingham Forest. But
you know, when
listen,
I say
it's going to come. And listen, I think Turkey said it last week with me when we did the watch along. The man's got 5 goals and 5 assists. I'm not going to lie to you. Right now, I can't complain. I'm not going to start getting on his back. But ultimately, if we're going for the title, I don't think he's going to be enough.
Okay. Niels Garland says Troops claims to have spoken to Aubameyang about celebrating a goal against us and says he'll see how he feels on the day. Dead to us if he celebrates. Listen, we just got to stop him from celebrating, isn't it? Akash says, I'm nervous today, guys. One thing no one has spoke about, which I'm scared of, is that Potter has Arteta's number, which makes this game more tough. Potter has had a good record against us when he was at Brighton, different team. Jesus will score today, says LDN Music 13. Well, let's hope you're right. I definitely think Jesus is going to have he's got a big part to play today.
Yeah.
But you know what though, Robbie, I was going to say, I don't even think it's necessarily the strikers for us that the most important in this game. I really do think the midfield battle is going to be, in most games, is the midfield battle going to be the most important thing because you've got probably Jorginho and Kovacic going up against Partey, arrested Xhaka, and right now, whether people want to say it or like it or not, Odegaard, who's playing out of his skin. And I think there's where most of the attacks are going to start from. That Partey,
we've got to win that. But you know what? I do, though, feel that those front three, if I feel that Chelsea are going to be very nervous about
teams are scared of our front three.
Yeah, I've said this on quite a lot of shows, right, about this article. I need to find out the name of the guy who wrote the article to credit him, right? Because I read that article and I was like, where he spoke about how Arsenal are number 1 for dribbles. Them three are number 1 for dribbling and taking on players in the Premier League. Last season, we were 17th out of 20 teams. And what those three do is they get the ball and they run at defenders, which means that you have to double them up, treble them up. They create space for others. And I'm looking at Chelsea's defence, and I think Thiago Silva, unbelievable defender. Not too sure Koulibaly's been having the greatest of starts. He's been kind of in and out. They're missing Reece James. Will it be Azpilicueta? Cucurella's not really hit the ground running. You know what I mean? I feel this is an opportunity to really force them back.
But I want to retire some of these men today, man.
Really attack them.
I think when you think about forcing them back, though, it does. You think about the role that Xhaka's got in his team currently. You think of what Odegaard brings. He links, he allows that ball to get. But the most important person is Partey, because you see the difference, the drop in level when we play Lokonga. Partey, and you know what? Big up to I think it's like I think on Twitter it's like Yankee Gunner, Clive PFC or AFC, I think it is, on the Arsenal Vision podcast. They were speaking about Partey, and is there another player in the Premier League that does what he does? Because you think of all those other players that play in the 6th role. You've got the Fabinhos, you've got the Rodris. I don't think any of them have to do not only the defending but passing the ball forward. You think of Fabinho, he's on an island on himself, and then he's got other players that can pass forward. You think of your Rodris, you think of, I would say probably Declan Rice, but even Declan Rice, he's not as defensively aware, I would say, as a Partey. I think when you've got Partey in our team, the difference and what he has to do compared to anyone else in the Premier League in his role, even in the world, I can't really think of many.
Jonas Jackson, Zeno Rhodes, CKY, Tyrone, they would say Casemiro.
I don't think Casemiro does it. I don't think Casemiro has to do the passing as consistently. I don't think his main job is to pass the ball forward. We know Casemiro is a great player, fantastic world-class player, and he's very good at the destroying. But consistently, is he the one that has to penetrate that ball forward with him? I don't think so.
Plus, Partey's been chipping in with a few goals this season, which has been great as well. Nikhil says 3-2 to Arsenal. Zinchenko as left wing back if KT isn't available. Most likely to see Ben White at right back. As much as Chelsea are nervous, we need to be wary about them. My inner Turkish says, I think the worry around Jesus is that we can't rely on Eddie as a backup. Nothing against them, but we need a killer in the next window. Eddie did score 2 goals and terrorised Chelsea last season. He might be chomping at the bit to get on.
I'd like to think so. But again, just going back to the Jesus thing, and when I was saying, like, do you think that he's got that killer instinct? Like, there's something that I just think, does it hurt him when he doesn't score?
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? Like,
you can tell. You can tell.
It does.
Definitely does.
You can tell it.
He's kicking the post and all when you see.
Is he too deep in games?
Too deep.
Is he too, because he does so much? I mean, even against Zurich the other night, I see man trap back right to the thing to win the ball. Does he do that too much? Is it sometimes you need to say to him, yo, stay up front, man?
No, he's got the perfect balance, and that's what I've been noticing. Like I said just before, he's got the perfect balance because he's been doing the creating, he's been helping us like start attacks from deep, but he's getting chances as well, which is the issue we're having. If he wasn't getting chances, the issue wouldn't be on him. The issue would be on the players around him. But he's getting chances, he's not taking them. So that's more the issue in terms of him not scoring goals, because he's not the one taking the chances. But another player that we need to see more goals from is definitely Odegaard, because if we think about the goals he scored this season, he's got 2 against Bournemouth, 1 against Forest, and 1 against Fulham. So he's only scored against newly promoted teams. So we need to start getting more from him in the big games.
Whoa. Like, we need to. Firstly, Arsenal have got 16 players that have got goals and assists for Arsenal. For our team.
Exactly. Of course.
But what I'm saying more so is why I'm just going to even come back at you at that point is, I think Odegaard, I genuinely don't think that his role is to score goals. We have to start alleviating a little bit of pressure. All of our midfielders don't have to do everything. Again, what we ask from certain players, you don't ask from any other team's top players. I think sometimes you just have to look at the player itself and ask them, what are they good at, and let them do that. You think of now what Xhaka's doing.
Yeah.
We don't ask Xhaka to be the creator. But why don't we ask that? Because we know what he's good at. We know what he's good at to be in that box to box. We don't ask Partey to score goals because we don't think that that's what he's the best at.
Yeah.
We ask him to be the defensive shield and pass the ball progressively forward. So I think sometimes we just have to be a little bit more aware about, yes, Odegaard is the link. He's that linchpin that is between the defense, between the defense and the attack.
100%.
But I don't always think that he needs to be the one that's getting 10 goals, 6, 7, 8 goals. He just needs to be, his creative passing stats need to be high. I'm not looking at the goals too much, but I sometimes I think people, not you per se, but I think some people just give him such a hard time.
But don't you think as a number 10 and
anyway, let me pause you there because I have the team.
Is it time?
The team, right, we're an hour before, so I have the team that is going to play against Chelsea today. This is it. Are you guys ready for this?
Let's go.
Ramsdale in goal, Ben White, Gabriel, Zinchenko. returns.
Wow.
As I said,
Zinchenko returns.
Wow.
Thomas Partey, Xhaka, Saka, Odegaard, Martinelli, and Jesus. So it's Zinchenko.
Saliba, right?
Gabriel
Saliba.
Yeah,
Saliba.
he does.
Yeah.
Strongest team, no?
The bench is Turner, Tierney, Holding, Cedric, the Conga, El Neni, Vieira, Nelson, and Nketiah.
Wow.
No Tomiyasu at all in the squad, so obviously that injury he picked up is keeping him out of the game. So, but Zinchenko in instead of Tierney. Let me go straight to you, Dexter. You were hoping for.
I was hoping to see Tierney, man. I mean, like I was a little bit not sure because Zinchenko didn't play in the week as well, and like it seems like he's been out for a long time. This is a big game to throw him in. But you know what? I'm not even going to question the gaffer because 9 times out of 10 he's got it right this season. So he knows what he's doing. I'm happy to see. The good thing is that we've got 2 strong options. So it doesn't necessarily matter. But I'm starting to just wonder why Tierney isn't playing, even though I'm happy that Zinchenko's...
I'm going to tell you straight up.
Go for it.
Let me just do the super chat first. Malik says, is that Zinchenko in the studio? I think he's talking about you. It can't be you two.
No, what?
I ain't got no hair, so
I've got hair either.
He says, I'm awaiting Arsenal fan excuses when they lose. Well, this is another one of these haters that we keep saying that all season they've been waiting on us, right? But
I think, do you know
Zinchenko,
what?
you're saying?
I think the reason why Zinchenko is going to be playing, it's all to do with the attacking players that we have on the pitch. We know when we attack, we have a touchline winger more so in Martinelli. We don't need someone who's going to be kind of overlapping. The way that, because you think about it, there's going to be Xhaka who's going to be kind of in that left 8 role or that kind of more advanced role currently.
Yep.
You've also got Martinelli who likes to go on the outside. He can also be an interior player as well. So we don't need that constant bombing fullback that's going to be coming outside. We need someone, I think, that's going to be more controlling in the middle of the pitch. So for me, I think Zinchenko is a perfect player.
Okay.
And we've seen the kind of advantageous positions that he will take, being more controlling in the middle of the pitch. So I don't really have a problem with it in this game.
I'm happy he's there.
okay, let me give you the Chelsea team. So this is the Chelsea team that starts today. Mendy in goal.
Mendy, yeah.
Aspilicueta, Thiago Silva, Chalobah, Loftus-Cheek, Jorginho, Mount, Cucurella, Havertz, Aubameyang, and Sterling. On the bench is Bettinelli, so there's no Kepa at all in their squad, so he must be injured. Koulibaly's on the bench, Gallagher, Hall, Kovacic on the bench, which is a bit of a surprise for me.
So is that a back 4? Is that a back 4?
Yeah, it looks like a back 4. Kovacic on the bench, Zakaria, Pulisic, Ziyech, and Broja. So that's the Chelsea team.
Is that Aspilicueta against Martinelli then?
It looks like it, yeah.
Okay.
It looks like it. That looks like Aspilicueta on one side, Cucurella on the other side, with Thiago
We should
Silva,
be taking Souls,
Chalobah.
man, today. Like,
Yeah,
seriously.
100%.
And a midfield of Loftus-Cheek, Jorginho, and Mount. With Havertz, Aubameyang, and Sterling up front. Maybe he might be going like a 4-4-2. They might be going, but yeah, that's interesting that they've left out Koulibaly. Chalobah again is a player that you can get at.
Yeah. You know what? When you started reading it, I thought you was going to the pensioners' home.
Yeah.
I was like, yo. Yeah. You know they got the bloody veterans in Chelsea that they come on the pitch every year. Yeah.
The Chelsea pensioners.
Pensioners. I'm like, yo, what's going on here, man? I'm hearing all these old players that they got on the pitch, man. But listen, Thiago's a great player. So was Aspilicueta. So I'm not gonna cuss him too much.
Would you, if you're Martinelli, you're looking at
licking his
lips, licking my lips, man. I can't wait. I actually can't wait.
I can get at him. And again, this is where space can be created for us. Same with Saka on the other side. Space can be created for others because they're going to have to detail. You can't leave Aspilicueta one-on-one with Martinelli, can you?
Yeah.
So Xhaka's going to be big in this game.
Xhaka could be a key player.
He was big last year as well.
He was big last year.
He's always good in big games.
Yeah.
Right, so now that we know the lineups, let's get some predictions. So let's start with you, Zinchenko.
I haven't got hair, but okay, yeah. So
now let's start with Dylan.
I think we're going
How's
to
he
win.
look like?
Where are you getting that from? My hair's not even blonde.
Just he's the only white guy on the panel now. Zinchenko. Right? I mean, what's that guy doing?
There's plenty of other white players in the Arsenal team as well. I mean, there's Ben White who shares the same name as me.
Well, probably Zinchenko because he's come in, right?
Oh, right. Yeah. No, I think we'll win today. 100%. I think we'll win today. I think it would be great if, Aubameyang could score as a consolation goal. And I think it would be great if he could, we'd be like 3-0 up, and he's getting the ball out of the net rather than doing his whole thing.
Yeah.
He wants to front flip in front of us. You know what he wants to do. But if we can make it a situation where we're playing so well and we're so far clear that he's scoring and it's almost a consolation, it would be great and it'd be a great statement. Obviously, I'd rather get a clean sheet. I just think that'd be quite funny to see.
So you're going. Where you going?
I'm gonna go 3-1 to Arsenal.
3-1 to Arsenal?
3-1 to Arsenal.
All right, let's go, Gunnar Lee.
Listen, I'm going to go 3-1. You took the words out of my mouth. I think we're going to get some goals in this. Now hearing, if it's a 4 at the back, and we're going to have Martin Lee going at Aspilicueta, and we've also got Saka going up against Cucurella, who is a good player, but if he's going to be advancing, there's going to be space, as you like to say. Jack is always getting a goal in this season and in the big games, and I said there's going to be more space in that midfield area. I think 3-1, man. And we always get goals from set pieces somehow, some way, because we've got some really, really good set pieces going on. So 3-1, man. 3-1.
Next up.
I'm going to go 2-0.
I like it.
I wanted to get gassed and go for the third goal, but I do think it will be 2-0. And I just want to see a controlled performance. I don't think that they're going to score. I think our defenders especially will be up for it, not allowing Aubameyang to score, not allowing Sterling to score. I just want to see a controlled performance. Like I mentioned earlier, I would love to one or both of those goals to come from Jesus. I think that we will score early because we have been scoring early typically as well. So I'm just going to go for a 2-0.
All right.
Who are you going for, man?
I'm going for, before I was saying like 1-0.
1.
Is it?
1-0 to the Arsenal,
man.
sort of thing.
No,
But I don't know, man. Sterling and Aubameyang, we're going to keep both of them out from scoring.
Yeah, we are.
I think it could be like a 2-1 or a 3-1. I really do think Arsenal, when I see the two teams, I think we've got the better team out there.
100%.
It's one of the first times, or what I'm liking at the moment, right? We're going to these places with strong teams.
Yeah.
And confidence. Last year we go there, just holding, it's this, it's that. This man's missing, that man's missing.
Yeah.
Today we are going. Tommy's out, but we've still got Zinchenko back and Tierney's on the bench.
Robbie, can I ask you a question though? Because
I'm confident.
I was doing a stream with Lewis. Shout out Lewis, Chelsea fan. And it was nice because they were all arguing about the manager, the formation and stuff. And I sat there and I was like, it almost brought a tear to my eye just knowing how much how far we've come.
Yeah.
I want to know, do you think that we have to win the game today? Because now looking at the amount of injuries, looking at the transition of the manager, you look at, we have, if we want to be real, the better team.
I said it right at the start, right? I'd be disappointed
if we don't win.
Do we have to win the game though?
Yes.
We need to
go top of the league again if we're serious.
It could be a thing that the game finishes, right? And if we've got a point that we all sit here and say, well, you know what, fair play, it's not a bad point. Because going away to Stamford Bridge is always tough.
Depends on how
for
we
any
get
big
the
team,
point,
right? But honestly, as the game's starting, and it's the first start, normally, like last year when we went to Stamford Bridge, I'm like this.
Yeah.
Nearly every year.
Yeah, but that was injuries though. That was injuries.
Yeah, but nearly every.
They were serious injuries. We've got a proper squad now.
Yeah, but even without injuries, nearly every year I go to Stamford Bridge, it's prayers.
Yeah.
I've been there. Yeah. I've been at Stamford Bridge when we got beat 6-0. I've been there when we've had some beatdowns, right? I was going there on a prayer last year. I'm not this time. I'm going there and I'm like, right now, when I look at the two teams, we've got the better team. I would like to see us win this game. I really would. I think we've got a... I said it right at the start, if we turn up, we win the game. I'm going to go for 2-1.
I kind of feel like we don't have an excuse not to win now, you know. I kind of feel like we don't have an excuse.
We've seen that defence as well. I think it's such a gettable defence.
Faisal, by the way, says, name one striker in the world today that does what Jesus does, defending, creating, passing across the entire pitch. You can't watch an all-action guy who is also then a gunman. You don't exist outside of FIFA. And Antonio 1993 says, "What do you think of Laka? Who Who do you think Laka is rooting for? Arsenal or his best mate Aubameyang? Well, I'm sure he'd be rooting for Arsenal.
Nah, man, he's shooting for Aubameyang.
You think he's shooting for Aubameyang?
100%.
No, I think he's shooting for Arsenal.
He's the ops now, man.
I think he's an ops. He's an op, right? Let me see if I'd missed anyone. Faisal says Arsenal fans are in Coco land as usual, so he's not fancying out chances. WC Passion says, Robbie, that is a fresh shirt. I'm terrified of today because of Graham Potter's hoodoo curse over us. Still supporting this team till I die. Come on, you Gunners. Listen, the hoodoo things and all that ain't been working this season because you know what? Hoodoos don't work per se. It's all about who's a good team and who's not a good team. And we just got to go there and just put in our best performance. I think if we do that, I think we'll win the game.
Like I mentioned earlier at the start, this is a big test mentally because this is, you know, one of the first times that, you know, we're now chasing City.
Yeah.
And you know we will see.
We're hunted today.
Exactly. Do you get what I'm saying? So you know we are away from home, and everybody's kind of been saying, "Oh, Arsenal still need to do this. They still need to do that for us to kind of pass all of these tests that we keep on passing." And they keep on moving the goalposts, and we're aware that they do that. But you know, even for me to see it, and for a lot of Arsenal fans to really start jumping on this bandwagon of we can come. We're not saying that we're going to win it, but we can actually challenge to win this league. This is another test that we're going to have to pass. You get what I'm saying?
The sports analyst says Jesus plays better when Zinchenko is playing. And Shrev says, don't want Aubameyang scoring today. Looking at the Man City game, I feel we ain't getting the ref decisions today as we're going ahead. It might be a tactical match, but he's going for a 2-1 win. Don't worry about the ref, man. We're going to be good. Right, let me just remind you guys once again of the two teams that are going to play in the game today. I'll give you the Chelsea team again. First, it's Mendy in goal, Aspilicueta, Thiago Silva, Chalobah, Loftus-Cheek, Jorginho, Mount, Cucurella, Havertz, Aubameyang, and Raheem Sterling. Their bench is Bettinelli, Koulibaly, Gallagher, Hall, Kovacic, Zakaria, Pulisic, Ziyech, and Broja. The Arsenal team is Aaron Ramsdale in goal, Ben White, William Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko, Thomas Partey, Granit Xhaka, Saka, Odegaard, Martinelli and Jesus. And on the bench is Turner, Tierney, Rob Holding, Cedric, Lokonga, El Neni, Vieira, Nelson and Eddie Nketiah. Those are the two teams to play today. Don't forget, we're going to be doing a watch along to the game. I'm in the studio today. You know what? I didn't go last year and we won, right? So, but anyway, listen, forget, we don't need them omens, but you know, I'm just riding with that one. But right, I'm in the studio today. I'm going to be on the watch along with Turkish. Right, these guys are going to be in the studio. We've also got some other guys joining us as well. We've got a big watch party, watch along going on today. So make sure you check it out. The guys, Cecil, James, they're at the game. And they're going to be speaking to all the fans. Lee Judges is down there as well. Dan, all those guys are at the game. So we're going to be speaking to those guys after and to you guys after in the full-time show. It's completely covered here on AFTV in a way in which nobody else is able to do. So make sure you keep it locked here. And also don't forget the NordVPN, which is keeping us invincible today by powering the AFTV match day experience. Be invincible by scanning the QR code to get the AFTV special, which is just for our fans today. Also, there's a link in the description as well if you want to click on that to get a NordVPN and keep yourself safe. Thanks for watching. We're going to be coming back with a watch along. One thing to say, come on you Gunners. Listen, things ain't getting any cheaper. So if you're traveling a lot like me and you want to save money, you can do that with NordVPN. Once you have NordVPN, you can explore a lot of different price options for things like flights, hotels, entertainment, anything you want. Just use NordVPN to change your location. Why pay international prices when you can pay local prices? We save literally hundreds of pounds every time we follow Arsenal on tour. And with the AFTV special, you can get 4 months free. It's a no-brainer. Just click the link to be invincible.